Today I'm making a quick video talking about when you start doing this job, when you're a trainee, an apprentice at a repair facility. Kind of the disadvantage that I feel like the younger generation has over the older generation. By younger, I mean even people my age. When I started doing this, systems on these cars were already pretty complicated. They were already, moving into direct injection, and they had a lot of electronics. There were already control units everywhere, and things were very complicated already, and which was fine. But it almost made, I had to start fixing cars early on. It almost made me have to learn backwards in a way. I started kind of repairing and understanding systems that were pretty complicated before I had a full grasp of the very core principles of how an engine works or how a transmission works and stuff like that. I was almost learning backwards. People that started fixing cars back in the 60s, let's say, they had carburetors and pretty simple setup. They had an engine that there wasn't much going on really. I mean, if you look back at them, they were very, very basic. So learning how those things work was kind of a little bit easier. A lot of people were mechanics back then, and as time progressed, they got to kind of move with the technology, and as this was added, they learned about it, and this was added, they learned about it, techs anyways. And it was kind of an advantage, versus just being thrown right into all this stuff where you have to learn about a lot of troubleshooting, electrical troubleshooting, and CAN bus, and fiber optics, and all kinds of weird stuff the newer cars are using. And then, to make yourself of value to the company you work for, you try to understand this stuff and help them mechanics, as an apprentice, fix cars as quickly as you can and as efficiently as you can, without really understanding the reasoning behind all this stuff, behind the technology. Once you understand, how an engine operates and how, ignition timing affects dynamic cylinder pressure, you start understanding how this stuff actually works, then all of the things that they're doing to make the engine more efficient start making more sense. So basically, I'm just making this video whining about how it was harder for people that were growing up in my time period and even younger, doing this, than it was for people that were a little bit older that got to kind of grow up with the technology more so. So that's all. So what I would say is, to somebody that was just starting this, somebody that was just getting into this and is an apprentice right now, rather than trying to learn how to install as many parts as you possibly can and make yourself the most value to the company that you possibly can, prioritize understanding the systems, the fundamentals, understanding exactly how an engine works, all of the just basic components, how a transmission works, how an AC system works, how all the systems on a car, understanding them, understanding suspension dynamics, and how what all the stuff means, caster, camber, toe, all that stuff, and how that affects the handling of the vehicle. And the more of that you understand, the better off you'll be, and the easier troubleshooting in the future will be. You won't be learning backwards quite as much. So, learning with really complicated systems and then having to backtrack, and then learning, why they're there, what they're there for, and it's worth just investing time into figuring this stuff out, because there's a lot of people out there fixing cars that don't really know much. They don't know much about a car in general. They know that if they bolt this thing on, this stops happening, or they know how to screw a valve cover down to stop a leak, or whatever the case, but they don't really understand this stuff. So you can only get so far with that. You need to have a fundamental understanding, and everything is available for free. The internet's incredible. You can just, any information you could ever want, you can just Google up and figure out. So that's it. Thanks for watching.